Imagine you are standing on Mars, right now. You are here. The ground beneath your boots is cold, red, and completely silent. You look up, and the sky is not black like space. It is a dull, poisonous orange. In every direction, nothing moves, no sound, no life. Just an endless ocean of red dust stretching to the horizon. For one single moment, it almost looks peaceful. It is not peaceful. Mars is not waiting for you. Mars is already killing you. You just don't know it yet. From Earth, Mars looks like a tiny red dot. Romantic, almost for decades. Humanity looked at that little red light in the night sky and said, "That is our future. That is our backup plan." But here's the problem. Every single thing we've discovered about Mars has been a warning, not an invitation. A warning. And we kept misreading it. Because Mars has an atmosphere, just not one humans can breathe. The Martian atmosphere is over 95% carbon dioxide. Oxygen is almost non-existent. If your spacesuit failed, you wouldn't have minutes to react. You would have seconds. Your blood would begin losing oxygen. Your vision would fade, and unconsciousness would arrive frighteningly fast. On Mars, the air itself is your enemy. But breathing isn't the biggest problem. Radiation is. Earth has a powerful magnetic field that acts like an invisible shield. It deflects enormous amounts of dangerous cosmic radiation. Every day, Mars lost that protection billions of years ago. Its magnetic field collapsed, leaving the planet exposed. Every hour on the Martian surface, high-energy particles from deep space bombard the ground. These particles can damage human DNA, increase cancer risks, and slowly destroy living tissue. A trip to Mars alone could expose astronauts to more radiation than many people experience during their entire lives. The colony wouldn't just be fighting for survival, it would be fighting against space itself. And then comes the cold. Mars is a frozen desert. Average temperatures hover around -63 degrees Celsius. But in some regions, temperatures can plunge below -120. Cold enough to freeze equipment, cold enough to threaten power systems, cold enough to turn a simple mechanical failure into a life-threatening emergency. And unlike Earth, there is no warm atmosphere to help, no oceans, no weather systems that make the planet comfortable, only endless cold, endless dust, and that dust may be one of the most underestimated dangers on Mars. The surface is covered in fine particles that blanket nearly the entire planet. These particles are so small they can infiltrate machinery, damage seals, and interfere with sensitive equipment. Massive dust storms can engulf entire regions. Some grow so large they cover the entire planet for weeks, even months, blocking sunlight, reducing power generation, turning the sky into a nightmare of swirling red darkness. Imagine living inside a fragile habitat while a planet-wide storm rages outside, knowing that every system keeping you alive depends on power, air, and equipment that must never fail. Because if something does fail, help isn't coming. The moon is only days away. Mars is different. At its closest, Mars is tens of millions of kilometers from Earth. At its farthest, the distance becomes far greater. Rescue missions cannot launch overnight. emergency supplies cannot arrive quickly. Every astronaut who lands on Mars understands one terrifying truth. For long periods of time, they are completely on their own. And distance creates another problem: communication. When people imagine Mars colonies, they imagine video calls with Earth, conversations with family, instant updates. But reality is much harsher. Radio signals take time to travel. Depending on planetary positions, messages between Earth and Mars can take more than 20 minutes to arrive. One way, a simple question could take nearly an hour to receive an answer. In a crisis, that delay becomes terrifying. Imagine facing a life-threatening emergency and knowing that nobody on Earth can respond in real time. The colony would have to solve its own problems. Every problem, every mistake, every disaster, alone. And then there is the challenge few people talk about: isolation. Humans evolved on a living world. A world filled with oceans, forests, clouds, birdsong, rain. Life Mars offers none of that. No fresh air, no green landscapes, no rivers, no natural sounds. Only rust-colored deserts stretching beyond the horizon. Day after day, month after month, year after year, the first Martian settlers may experience a level of isolation no human beings have ever faced before. Because they won't just be far from home. They will be trapped on a world where home no longer exists. And that leads to the most uncomfortable truth of all. The hardest part of colonizing Mars is not building rockets. It is not landing on the surface. It is not even surviving the journey. The hardest part is staying alive after you arrive. Because Mars was never waiting for us. It does not care about our dreams. It does not care about our ambitions. It is a frozen, radioactive desert surrounded by a deadly vacuum, a world that spent billions of years becoming hostile to life. And yet, despite all of that, humanity keeps looking toward the red planet. Because every great chapter in human history began with people willing to go somewhere dangerous, somewhere uncertain, somewhere that seemed impossible. Mars doesn't want humans to survive. But history has shown something remarkable. Humanity has never been very good at taking no for an answer.